on EA Sports as we welcome you into Paycor Stadium on the riverfront here in Cincinnati. On to get us started now, the kicker Chris Boswell. And we are underway from Cincinnati. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And they'll begin here with a run by Brown. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Now, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Another run for Brown on 2nd down. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings. They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And that is incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
So on 4th down, Ryan Rico on to punt for the Bengals. And back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. This one into the hands of Metcalf. So the completion good for just 3. And that's going to bring up 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up 1st downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need a little bit of extra help by grabbing the jersey and trying to ride him out.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. To throw is Rodgers. Completes it to Austin. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
Oh, I see you nodding your head along with me, partner, because it's pretty obvious what they were trying to do there on the drag route. With his speed, they're hoping he can turn the corner and maybe take this to the house. But that was excellent work defensively to make sure once he caught it, he wasn't going anywhere.
Here's Rodgers. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. He couldn't get away there on 3rd down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12. Here's Cameron Johnston now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. Here's Burrow. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. They went 3 and out on their first drive. Things already looking better here, 1st and 10.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup there, especially when it comes on the heels of a 3 and out the first time you have the ball. They were determined to not have that happen again, and that's a nice throw for their first down of the game.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. A Bengal first down on the 16-yard pickup there.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Burrow will throw. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
From the gun, a give to Brown. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
It's not a huge breakaway run, but if your starting running back finishes the game with averages of 5 or 6 yards per touch, you'll take that every single time.
This now a 3rd and 4. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want it to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
On 1st and 10, here's Brown. And a nice pickup there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line.
It's largely been the air attack that's gotten them down here, but now's where you start to lean on that running game. That's a good pickup there on 1st and goal.
In the backfield by himself is Brown, 2nd and goal. Now receiver in motion left. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Not only was that a terrific play, but that loss of yardage they created this close to their own goal line, that gives them a little breathing room now as they move them back.
And they're breathing fire a little bit right now, aren't they?
A lot of confidence being shown by them at this point.
And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Andre Yoshivas, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Bengals will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. An out route there for the score, a quick out route there for the score.
Yeah, you're not really surveying the defense on this one. You're just counting on timing, making this play happen. 1-2, ball's out of his hands, knows where he's going, just puts it to the outside. Touchdown.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Still 9 yards to go on 2nd down from the 27. On play action. Now Rodgers on the move to his left. And he'll slide to a halt here. Still a little shy of the first down marker. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
Rodgers now to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Every offense tells you they want to come out and start fast. That's not unusual at all. But this group, they've yet to get much rolling through their first 2 drives. It looks like they're going to have to give up the football again after this one.
On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. A call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. They defer to Brown to start the drive. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Another run for Brown on 2nd down. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
3rd and 4. Now it's Burrow. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give him 25 yards.
I don't care how many times we say it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete. Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Burrow looking to pass. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Bengals 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Over the middle, that's caught by Chase. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another 1st.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Now Burrow. And that is incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. 2nd and 10. Now it's Burrow. He's going to have the hook up here to Chase. And the Bengals are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
And coming into this ball game, this was an offense that wasn't just talking about the notion of ball control. They were preaching it. They wanted to win the time of possession battle, and they've done so here. This drive's taken up quite a bit of the first quarter. Now they are set up 1st and goal.
Again, it's Burrow. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. T.J. Watt causing the disruption. He gets the sack. Well, that's not how you hope to draw it up there on 1st and goal, CD, by taking a sack like that.
Well, they tried to be aggressive, didn't they? They didn't want to try and work their way past the goal line. They wanted it right there on that play. Unfortunately, it backfired against them. Now they have to try and pick it up here moving forward.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's 3rd and goal. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here. And the Bengals on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and goal. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Burrow, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Bengals go up by 2 touchdowns. They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. The Steelers ready to take over on offense. They're still in search of an initial 1st down as they come up here 1st and 10. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. He finds Austin complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big pickup of 38.
And this is how you answer a touchdown the other end. You come out throwing to start your own drive. And not just throwing, but pushing it down the field. And they come up with a big play as they try to answer back with a score of their own.
Now it's Rodgers. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Now Rodgers. That's caught. He gets it out to Austin. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 22-yard line. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. But I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball. And what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
From the 21, here's a 2nd down and 9. On play action, it's Rodgers. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. Rodgers to throw once more. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Good coverage yet again down here by the goal line. Everyone's blanketed, and he's forced to throw it away and try and come up with something on 3rd down.
The offense on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. Throwing is Rodgers. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. Boswell's kick is good, and they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3.
So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point a drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field.
A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
And I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
They tried the throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. Running right, here's Brown. And I don't think he got there. No, they stop him right where it all started. Nothing doing on 2nd and 3rd down after that 9-yard gain on 1st. Yes, it's the first half, but we'll see if that stuff there on 3rd and 1 comes back to haunt him.
I hope you don't mind, but it's not going to stop me from putting a check mark next to this play. Let's look back as this game progresses and see if this is one of the key plays in the game, even though it occurred early.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line.
Pittsburgh offense making their way back out.
It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
I think if they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive.
From the 20, here's the 2nd and 9.
Rodgers going to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Austin. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
Well, this hasn't really been a first half to remember on either side of the ball, but I think this kind of makes this an important drive. You'd love to get this back to a one-score game if you can, and that's good work there to get some yardage here and pick up the first down.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Now a play fake. Rodgers. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well. Incomplete.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. Yeah, this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field.
Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
He'll look to Gesicki on the out route. Ball is caught.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow.
That's complete. Once again, it's Gesicki.
That one, a first down pickup of 8.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Here's Burrow. And he's got his tight end. It's Mike Gesicki. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
From midfield now, Burrow.
Throw right side, pulled in by Higgins.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Oh, the motion comes too late, and this is going to be a delay.
So a little tardy getting everyone set, and the clock hit 0 before they could snap it.
Yeah, you can take your time and use the clock and try and get set up, but once it gets near 5 seconds, That's when you often hear a quarterback yelling, hurry, hurry, to make sure everybody's ready to get the snap off.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Over the middle here to Brown. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and it's 2nd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right. And Burrow going to throw again. On the right side, open is Gesicki. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been very good. 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Burrow will throw. That's to Chase. He's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. A 9-yard touchdown there. And the Bengals go nearly the length of the field and finish it off with 6 points. So 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, and they're a PAT from going up 21-3.
And there's no doubt in my mind, you're liking what you're seeing so far, aren't you?
It's been unbelievable. Like a well-oiled machine, if you will.
What's really tough, though, that defense, they're leaping the shadows at this point. They don't know which way to go. They're being hit in every direction, and they have no answers thus far.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
And the Steelers set to take the field.
And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
To throw, it's Rodgers.
Austin is there and brings in another one.
And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. It's a gain of 34.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1.
Shotgun now for Rodgers.
He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw is Rodgers.
Here's Freiermuth again.
The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. From the 4, this is 2nd down and 1. And again, it's Rodgers. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. DK Metcalf from 4 yards out. And the Steelers get a late score here in the final minute of the first half.
Well, that touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in the second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the second quarter strong. A little bit of time left. Boswell good with the extra point, and it makes the score 21-10. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Bengals going to take over late in this first half. Already enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the second quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead. Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Escaping the pressure right. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. And able to get this out to the 25. The Steeler offense ready to get going to begin this third quarter. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only 1st down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
A throw left side, caught by the tight end, Freiermuth.
19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Here's Rodgers to throw.
A short one there to Freiermuth.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
I don't care what sport you're playing. Everyone likes to build up a little momentum, don't they? And look at this, back-to-back completions to the big target at tight end.
That one not as profitable as the other, but still a decent gain.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and a couple.
They'll give up the middle to Johnson. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
I haven't met a defensive coordinator yet that thinks 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job. Hold him to 1 after that 8-yard pickup on 1st down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. On play action, Rodgers.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Steelers first down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Rodgers now to throw. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Rodgers.
Complete to Austin here over the middle.
And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 23. No question that they're going to continue to look his way. 6 catches in the first half and now 7 on the game.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Rodgers to throw once more. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I certainly like the idea. You're down on their side of the field. Get your big play guy involved. That time, they put one up for him to see if he can pull it down in the end zone, but the coverage was good, and it winds up incomplete.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Now Rodgers.
This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
Rodgers going to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
So from the 2, now they move back to the 7-yard line. 1st and goal. Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
Johnson again.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Taking it in from 2 yards out.
And the Steelers are back within a score. So, partner, it was a passing game that drove them down the field, but when they get close, they trust that man in the backfield, and he took them home.
And they trust their offensive line as well, because so many of these units, they specialize in either pass protection or run blocking. This group shows its versatility and gets both done on this drive.
It's complete, and he will get into the end zone to cut the lead down to a single point. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half.
And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a one-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a one-score game, They know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. Now it's Burrow. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone.
Warren will try the right side.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
I have to think a major focus at the halftime means had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
He finds Austin complete. He's down inside the 10 to the 8. And it comes on a gain of 8.
And we've seen him have success earlier on with the ball in his hands because he is a get it in space and make a play kind of a receiver. But that time, they closed on him quickly and held him to a short gain.
Here's third and a few inches.
Here's Rodgers. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. Only a yard on the completion. It's second and goal.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
He's got it.
Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down.
5 yards that time on the completion, and now it's third and goal.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is third and goal. Johnson, touchdown, Pittsburgh. Well, fair to say they've got something here in this rookie running back, and he's in for the second time of the ball game.
And, Brandon, it's a position where there's often a lot of turnover, a lot of competition at that spot. But he's proven to them that he wants to be the bell cow guy that his franchise can rely on.
Boswell for the extra point. And that will make this a 4-point game. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field.
Charles, you got to think the #1 goal here is ball security. Remember, last drive they coughed it up, then they allowed the touchdown, and now they're trailing on the scoreboard.
Boy, the way you described it makes me think that that one actually hurt them 3 times. The fumble cost them potential points. Then they watched their opponent get a touchdown off of the fumble. And third, they lost the lead as a result. Really tough sequence right there. I don't think coaches have to remind them to hold on to the football. They've just got to find a way to get it done.
So the completion gets them just a yard, and it'll be second down. Here's Burrow.
And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down.
He did a 5, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
To the sideline and incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
The Bengals bring out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. Here's Austin. A 7-yard return following a punt of 45 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would. And in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
yeah, not the case.
Not at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about seeing defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd and a yard.
They'll send Austin in motion right. Now it's Rodgers.
That's complete to the rookie from Michigan.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
22 yards there, a first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
He goes right back to Austin again. And the Steelers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
Rodgers again now. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Oh, partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers.
Calvin Austin
from 6 yards away.
And the Steelers get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. Their lead, they have seen it evaporate completely after such a good first half. They've been shut down here in the third quarter.
searching for answers, trying to figure out what it's going to take to get back to where they were before. The big part of it is that sometimes you don't have to go exotic now. You go back to basics. Being able to run the football, string some things together, some effective passes, try and get a rhythm established again, and try and get back in the lead.
Back in the lead, like you said, back to the basics. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
First play of the drive, excellent run, just sets up wash, rinse, repeat. Another first down.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Shotgun handoff to Brown here, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
From just shy of midfield, here's 2nd and 6.
Right back to Brown. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow. That is caught. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
Burrow hooking up with Higgins for a Bengal first down.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals. They've got the football, but they trail here as we get rolling in quarter number 4. This is Brown going up the middle.
And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's second down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8.
Now Burrow. Open man is Higgins. He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. And the Bengals on third down. They've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Burrow on play action.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Normally being a big-bodied receiver plays to their advantage downfield. Go up and make the catch, take the hit, and pick up yardage. But in this case, the hit was timed really well and popped it free from his grasp.
McPherson's kick is good.
And that'll make this an 8-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get it the least a 3 and out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Steeler offense set to regain possession. Their lead back down to 1 score after the field goal a moment ago, so they'll be looking to string together a few first downs, likely on the ground as they begin 1st and 10.
They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And he'll get this just across the 25-yard line.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run. but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that first down carry.
So from the 26-yard line, here's a 2nd and 8.
Throwing is Rodgers.
Throwing quickly to Wilson.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure.
Trey Hendrickson showing off his pass rush repertoire that time.
If you want a lesson on how to defeat an offensive tackle, that was pretty textbook.
Is that a clip and save?
Yes.
That's what's going to go around the league, and people are going to watch that and say, my goodness, that's how you do it? And I feel awful for the offensive tackle because we always talk about the athleticism of that guy who just beat him. Well, you have to be athletic to try and block that guy. Just in this case, the defense won.
Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. They'll get 4 back there on the run, but now they're looking up at a 3rd and 12 situation.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
3rd and 12.
To throw is Rodgers. In trouble, and he's taken down. Trey Hendrickson able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
A 3rd and long. You knew that he was going to throw it. He just couldn't find anybody to throw it to.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have been a surprise, but that was perfect execution of their nickel defense. That 5th defensive back, the extra defender, he really tightened up things downfield in coverage, and they were able to get to him in the pocket.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away.
It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field.
And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it. Brandon, you're a big lover of music. How about what you just saw there? This is what I call playing the piano for a defensive lineman, the ability to move laterally up and down the line of scrimmage. How about the way he just flowed and got to the outside part of the field and made that play?
Another run for Brown on 2nd down.
And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
From the gun on 3rd down is Burrow.
He's going to have the hook up here to Chase. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And his pass incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Now a 2nd and 10.
In motion comes the tight end left. Burrow looking to pass.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Throwing again, it's Burrow. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down.
Alex Highsmith making the nice play and getting the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
The Bengals bring out their punter now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the right.
He'll get it here on the jet sweep.
And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
From the 33, here's a 2nd and 7.
On play action, now Rodgers. Completes it to Austin. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 23 yards the pickup there.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. They try the left side with Johnson. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it could be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
Here's Johnson again on 2nd down.
And he is going to be close to a 1st down as the tackle made at the Bengals 35. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
On play action, it's Rodgers. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Slipping into the backfield for the sack was Oren Burks.
Well, it's been a little bit of feast or famine because he's thrown for decent yardage, and obviously they've got the lead, Charles, but now he's been sacked 4 times.
And what I'm focusing on is his toughness in the pocket. Because you mentioned the feast or famine part, he's played well in between being dumped on his back. But every time he's had a chance to throw the football, he's been impressive.
Cincinnati set to take over once again. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
It's a gain of 35.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
Chase, the motion man right.
Burrow will throw. It's complete to Brown, right side. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now it's Burrow. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. To the air again, Burrow.
Throw out wide is incomplete.
And this defense definitely in his head there on third down, and he's pretty fortunate. They didn't call him for grounding on this one. That was a good 10 feet over everyone's head.
The Bengals bring out their punter now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now run straight ahead with Warren.
This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
And this is the worry because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important third down.
To throw, it's Rodgers. He finds Austin complete. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Here's Cameron Johnston now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line.
So Burrow and the Bengals down by 8. 1:51 on the clock. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down. Burrow. This one complete to Yoshibas. Breaks the tackle, now an alley. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First play of the drive in their hip pocket. Of course, the focus here has to be the touchdown of the 2-point conversion. Field goals aren't going to help you.
Yeah, but how about that first play of the drive? Just to get them started, nice gain, got some positive momentum going. They're on their way, and they don't have to rush.
And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long. Here's Burrow. Open man is Yoshivas.
And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40.
Oh, I know it goes against the grain here. It totally goes against it, but you've got to drop the ball in that situation. He makes a catch, but he loses yards and doesn't get out of bounds.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Now Burrow. That's complete to Chase.
And he gets this to the 48, but no further. Well short of the line to gain. First things first here, they got to pick up the 1st down.
And remember, it is 4th down, so they've got to pick up a completion here. Otherwise, this one's over.
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now. Throwing, Burrow.
Flush to his right. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45.
They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. That one checks all the boxes, doesn't it? You get the first down, check. Get out of bounds, stop the clock, check.
Well, how about one last check? Keep your quarterback from getting hit. That's a big check.
Yeah, check there as well. Good call. Burrow.
Got a man. It's Brown.
And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left.
The Bengals getting set to go. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here.
To throw, Burrow. And that one too wide and incomplete.
Down to their last chance now. This is going to have to be a heave for the end zone and just hope for a miracle.
And I don't sit back with everyone back defending. I've got to have somebody rushing the quarterback. Don't make it easy for him to set up and throw the ball all the way downfield.
A final shot now for Burrow.
And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over.
What a game we were treated to in this one. And on that final play, they had a chance. They had the ball just beyond midfield for one final shot, but couldn't get it done, and they suffered the loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity, hoping they could find their way to the end zone and make that miracle happen. A really good ending to an entertaining contest, though.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. From Cincinnati, good night, everybody.